Who would have thunk it on a Monday we'd be talking about a Lions victory over the Packers, but we are. Let's get into another edition. We're here of Locked On Lions.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And a pleasant good Monday morning to you, everybody. Matt Dery with you. It is Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Monday, November 7th into Tuesday, November 8th. Didn't have a postcast yesterday because I've been traveling, but it is good news that I am here because, as you know, I made the statement that this football team was ticking me off. And if they didn't win one of the last two games, Miami or Green Bay at home, I was seriously considering walking away from this show and no longer doing this show. The Lions won yesterday, and they knocked off the Packers in an ugly performance, 15-9, but a win is a win. And I am here. And I'm here to tell you that I appreciate everybody reaching out, whether it was on Twitter at Dery Speaks, whether it was on the Matt Dery Facebook fan page, your comments on the YouTube channel, Locked On Lions, where you can find the podcast each and every day. I appreciate everybody reaching out, excuse me, and kind of saying that the Lions, saved Locked On Lions. I honestly don't know if I would have walked away or not, but it doesn't matter because the Lions won the football game yesterday, and we're talking about a win on a Monday, and that is the most important thing. So we got a lot to get into, a lot to discuss from yesterday. We will do that right here on Locked On Lions, which is brought to you today by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made easy. Pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on your entry. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. Again, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Watch us on YouTube. We're doing the video show today from Parts Unknown here as I continue my... It seems like every weekend I'm gone, but had a little travel weekend here, and I want to get the show out today, right away here this morning. Didn't have a postcast yesterday, but we'll be back with one next week when the Lions face Justin Fields. I was reading on ESPN this morning. Justin Fields is a star. They lost. And, yeah, he ran for like Michael Vick numbers, like 178 yards, and the Lions are going to play him this week. But if the Lions can contain him on the ground and make him throw, he's not a star. So let's pump the brakes on that discussion. But anyway, yesterday the Lions beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers 15-9. First things first on this entire thing. The defense played great. All right, there's no other way of putting it. Now, what helped the cause was the fact that the Packers' offense is abysmal. The scheme looks broken. The quarterback looks broken. They've got Dillon and Aaron Jones, yet I don't love the way they scheme the run game. Rodgers looks off. I mean, the Packers had their opportunities inside the Lions' red zone all day and couldn't cash in. And to pick off Aaron Rodgers 3 times in the red zone, 2 of them by Kirby Joseph and the other, which was a fantastic play by Aiden Hutchinson on the throwback to the tackle eligible, was a tremendous read and reaction and hands by number 97. And I think we've spent a lot of time, and I've spent a lot of time on it, on the show talking about Aiden Hutchinson being the number 2 pick and at times not flashing, not splashing, and not doing enough. But yesterday, even though he didn't get a sack and didn't have a great game overall, I thought that play was a huge one and a terrific play. Kirby Joseph, I don't know what else you want me to say about this guy, but Brad Holmes has done it again. I've been critical of Bradley on many levels as the general manager. This team is still 2-6. They still have a long way to go. His hands are not clean completely. There are specks of dirt when it comes to the kicking game, which has not been addressed. The lack of a backup quarterback, defensive line issues, all sorts of things that I think Brad Holmes could have done better at. The Michael Brocker situation. But Brad Holmes, 2 years ago, drafted a mid-round pick in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's been fantastic. And now it appears that Kirby Joseph, the safety out of Illinois, is a home run as a draft pick. And, as a third rounder. Late third rounder. He yesterday did the 2 interceptions. He's all over the field. Hopefully he's okay after they checked him for a concussion late in the game after the collision with Jeffrey Okudah. But he's been playing really well. And he seems to be around the football. He's taking the football away, whether it's hitting people, whether it's reading and reacting and stepping in front of passes. That's Aaron Rodgers yesterday. And whether Aaron Rodgers is broken and whether Aaron Rodgers is done, and I saw a headline today on our website, should they go to Jordan Love? Regardless of all that, that's a Hall of Fame player on the other side of the field that yesterday was bothered by the Lions secondary. Kirby Joseph made plays. Jerry Jacobs made plays. Jerry Jacobs, after the game, was asked about the little back and forth he was having with Rodgers, where he basically was telling Rodgers, stop testing me. Why are you going at? Jerry Jacobs is a badass and should have been playing more the last 2 weeks as he was coming back from the ACL injury. I got news for you. He's going to be playing a lot now. How sweet is that maybe the Lions, outside of Okudah, have developed some young talent in the secondary as of late? They just fired their secondary coach after an atrocious performance against Miami. Come back the next week. Now again, all right, it's different playing Tua, Waddle, and Tyreek than it is playing Christian Watson, who's hurt every game, Romeo Doubs, and that band of renown. The Packers receivers are terrible. Sammy Watkins is toast. All right, so it's not like the Lions took a major step down in terms of opponents' receiving core, but still, you got to step in front and make those plays. Okudah gets beat all day by Allen Lazard, who's the one guy that I think the Packers have that you could tell Rodgers is clicking with right now. All right, Lazard had a good game. It was not Okudah's best game. And we'll get to some game balls. I'm not going to have the PFF numbers in time to give you the top 5 and bottom 5 until tomorrow. But Okudah bounced back on that 2-point conversion try when it was 8-6 and knocked the ball away from Lazard. And that was a big-time play. But we saw improvement yesterday from the secondary since the, pink slippage of Aubrey Pleasant. Now, I don't know if that means that the co-secondary coaches and Aaron Glenn all deserve, kudos, but those guys stepped up yesterday and they played well. I thought Jacobs was good. I thought Okudah bounced back. A rough start, but got better as the game wore on. And like I said, Jacobs and others played pretty well. You held Aaron Rodgers yesterday, all right, Hall of Famer, Mr. Everything, to a passer rating of 53.5 and a QBR of 25. That is downright pathetic. That was an atrocious performance by Aaron Rodgers. Some of it his doing, some of it poor throws, but I thought the Lions showed him some different looks yesterday. I thought the defensive backs did a good job. What can you say? You hold Green Bay to 9 points. Now, I know this is a Packers offense. It's only been averaging 18 a game, and they're way down. But still, we know the history. We know what Aaron Rodgers can do to the Lions and what he's done to the Lions. They got to stop at the end of the game. Albeit Dan Campbell's decision-making going for 4th down, empty backfield twice in the game on 4th downs, which is just terrible coaching. But the defense bailed him out and bailed the rest of the team out. So that was pretty sweet to watch. All right, we got to talk about the offense. We will do that coming up next as well. PrizePicks, mentioned them before. It's fun every single Sunday to get involved with PrizePicks. You pick a game, all right? For example, last night, Tennessee and Kansas City. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes to throw for more than 320 passing yards. I'm going to take Derrick Henry to rush for less than 85 yards. You can do that at prizepicks.com. It's fun. You're not going up against other people. You're going up just against the projections. All right, so you pick 2 to 5 players. If they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. Great thing about PrizePicks, it's not just NFL. NBA, MLB, NHL, PGA Tour, college football, college basketball, which starts, tonight? This is going to be awesome. Get in on the action at PrizePicks. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It is that easy. All you got to do is download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up. And you play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. All right, Lions are now 2-6. Think about this for a second. If the Lions beat the Bears this Sunday at Soldier Field, Kevin Kugler, Mark Sanchez, and Laura Oakman on the call on Fox at 1 o'clock, and the Packers lose to the Cowboys, just think about this. The Lions will be in second place this week. Think about that. If the Lions win, they'd be 3-6. Bears would be 3-7. And the Packers, if they lose to Dallas, would be 3-7. The Lions would be technically in second place. Vikings are rolling. Anybody see Kirk Cousins dancing on the plane with a chain on and his shirt off? Minnesota's cruising. It's crazy. Went into Washington and won yesterday. But the Lions win. Aren't we all in such a better mood today? Isn't this just so much better? Was it pretty? No. Okay? Did the Lions get inside the red zone and mess around a few times? Yes. Were there some calls by the officials at the end of the game? How did they not review that fumble play at the end? We all figured that fourth down, end of the game, needing one play, one stop. Rodgers fires it in the end zone. You were waiting for the flags to be thrown, right? You were just waiting for it because he just sidearm heaved it off his back foot, and you're like, here it comes, here it comes. You're going to see flag on the screen, the yellow. And it never came. It was great. Lion fans deserved that yesterday. They show up, you hate the Packers. It's a team that's owned you as of late. And I know end of this season, the Lions beat them in those Week 17 games that mean nothing, but seriously, going back to even the Hail Mary, just seeing those uniforms on the field at Ford Field, it was great to get a win. I mentioned the defense, and we're going to hand out some game balls in a second, too. Offensively, it's just not good enough. And the Lions showed at times that they can move the football, but when your quarterback only throws for 137 yards, has a passer rating of 78.5, you come out of the locker room up 8-0, and once again, Jared Goff is intercepted. Didn't even see Jair Alexander. And then he returns it into Lion territory. Like, I just don't understand it. Now, I get a few things. Number one, you just traded away TJ Hawkinson, so you're not going to have that weapon to utilize. And I'm well aware that the Flying Zylstra brothers are now a thing. And I know Tom Kennedy had to play a lot of snaps. And I know that James Mitchell is a rookie tight end. But Mitchell and Zylstra, the two tight ends, and Brock Wright combined for 3 catches. Now, it turned out that 2 of them were for touchdowns. Mitchell's and then the Zylstra play, the throwback, which was a nice call. Give Ben Johnson credit. I love the misdirection to the right, throwback to the left. It looked like it was going to be a tough catch, but he made it. But other than that, I thought the Lions, rush offense against a Packers defense, which was 29th against the run, was not as good as I wanted it to be. Jamal Williams ran 24 times for 81 yards, which was okay. Justin Jackson got 4 carries. Craig Reynolds, come on, Craig, got hurt. But I thought the Lions' offense really just stalled way too many times. And the story with DeAndre Swift, I don't know if I'll have an answer for it ever. Like 1 minute, DeAndre Swift looks amazing. You get him the ball in the flat. Ooh, he makes a play. 20-yard catch. There's the Swift of old. And then you don't see him for 2 series. So his health is huge. St. Brown yesterday was targeted 9 times, but Goff missed him on a couple, and he only caught 4 balls. But this offense, um, just over the last few weeks has just not been good enough. And it's just been way too inconsistent. We talked about last week how great it was in the first half against the Dolphins. And oh my gosh, it's like 27-17 at halftime. This is great. And then they get shut out in the second half. I liked obviously the throws in the end zone to Mitchell and to Zylstra, like I said. And there were some times where Goff looked good. But, I don't think there's any question about it now that this organization is going to have to look outside and in the draft. And right now, I think the Lions, if the season ended today, would be drafting 5th and 12th based off of their win yesterday. The Rams loss. Rams are a mess. Went prevent at the end and allowed Tom Brady to go right down the field. So the Lions are going to be in good shape. So you would think that one of those picks, 5 or 12, would be a quarterback. Because just Goff just doesn't make enough throws. And his footwork is so bad at times. And, pass blocking was all right yesterday. He wasn't even sacked. But the interception, like I said, some of the misses, and I just wish there was a little bit more creativity in the second half. You see some things in first halves of games, that the rollouts, the design stuff, and then the second half, it's just 7 to 10 step drops. And, there were too many opportunities in that game yesterday for the Lions to put the Packers away. And don't even get me started on the 3rd and 1s and 4th and 1s. I just don't understand how on 4th and inches, Goff just can't get up to the line of scrimmage, pat Ragnow on the ass, and go forward with a quarterback sneak. It's like this organization is allergic to trying it. Is Goff that big of a wuss that he can't do that? Every other team does the sneak play. Every other team has the sneak play where they go and the running back comes up from behind Goff or behind the quarterback or whatever, college, pro, whatever. We all see it. And they push the quarterback forward for an inch or a yard or 2 yards. The Lions just refuse to do it. Those 4th downs just kill this team. And Dan Campbell at the end of the game, giving the Packers that field position with that call, I didn't hate the idea of it, but can they one time convert it? So you're not having to hang your hat on the defense every single time? Oh my God. But again, I'm trying to stay positive. They won, and that was good. All right, I have a thought about the post-game locker room, and we're going to hand out some game balls coming up next as well, but I got to tell you about our friends at BetOnline. If I can just get the proper, there it is, graphic up, betonline.net, your number one source for betting football and the start of the basketball season, which is here, and the start of college basketball tonight. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game at BetOnline. And as always, BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting and up to the minute scores for every sport out there. Want to know the spread of the games? Look it up. Go to betonline.net right now. Bears favored by 2.5 over the Lions this week. Went on the website, looked myself. Fastest and easiest way to check in on everything, including Major League Baseball, NHL, MMA, boxing, and golf, is BetOnline. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, if you watch the post-game video that the Lions put out last night in their locker room, and SVP played it on SportsCenter last night as well, Dan Campbell was emotional again in the locker room, and he always is, and like choking up about how much he loves the team and how hard they fought and all that stuff. And look, they're 2-6. Some people will laugh it off. Some people say, give me a break. It's a big win yesterday. I'm not going to go too crazy about it. It shows that the players still rally around him. But then he held up a ball and he said, I got a game ball. I got a game ball, he says. And he said, this guy's been grinding it out. This guy's a grinder. He's worked so hard. And I'm thinking, I don't know where he's going with this. Is it Kirby Joseph? Is it, Aiden Hutchinson? I don't know. Derek Barnes. And he says, Aaron Glenn. And the room goes nuts. The locker room goes crazy for Aaron Glenn. And and they're yelling AG, and they're jumping up and down. Brad Holmes is in there too, just going crazy. And it hit me that while we make fun of future head coach Aaron Glenn, and his name has been brought up as the next head to roll, Aubrey Pleasant's been fired, Anthony Lynn's been fired, players have been let go, players have been benched. Amani Oruwariye was a healthy scratch, Michael Brockers. Folks, I got news for you. Watching that video yesterday, Aaron Glenn's not going anywhere. Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn are attached. And while this defense has been bad and embarrassing at times, even last week, just so many breakdowns against the Dolphins and Hill and Waddle, Aaron Glenn bought himself some serious time and earned some big cachet yesterday with that performance against the Packers. Forcing 3 Aaron Rodgers interceptions, something he hasn't done in years. Holding Green Bay to 9 points. That was very telling on that video and in the post-game locker room, that Aaron Glenn got that kind of rousing ovation from his teammates, or from his coaching staff, his fellow coaches, the players, and Dan Campbell, and Brad Holmes. So, file that somewhere. As far as game balls being handed out, I really don't have any game balls for the offense. I'm sorry, the flying Zylster brothers and James Mitchell is fine, but one catch isn't going to get you a game ball. But on defense, I mentioned Derek Barnes, the linebacker. What a game he had. They utilized him more. Rodrigo got hurt. Barnes was out there. And it was easily his best game as a pro. He had a sack, tackle for a loss, defended a pass, 12 tackles, 4 solo. It was the coming out party for number 55. Hopefully we see more of this. And eventually you're seeing him and Rodriguez playing together and less of Alex Anzalone. But I thought Derek Barnes was great yesterday. He gets a game ball. So does Kirby Joseph. I've already mentioned this, but the 2 interceptions, 3 passes defended, knocking away a big play on a deep ball that looked like it was going to be caught for a touchdown, and at the end he batted it away with his left hand. Kirby Joseph played one heck of a free safety yesterday, and also had 10 tackles, 5 solo. I thought he was tremendous as well. I also am going to give a game ball to Aiden Hutchinson for that interception. I just thought that was, that was about to be a big man touchdown. That was about to be a tackle eligible, throwback, and he read it. He didn't go after Rodgers. He read the play. He came back and cut in front of that ball. That was beautiful. So those are my game balls. I thought three players on defense really deserved it, and it was a much-needed win. Whether it was ugly, whether it was 15-9, anything that happened, it's always fun to beat the Packers. And now they play the Bears in Chicago, and that's a winnable game. Don't tell me that Justin Fields is the next Michael Vick after one game. Have the Bears the last few weeks and their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, finally found a way to get Fields out in space and design plays for him? Yes, but it's backyard football. This looks like Wishbone High School stuff. Good defensive coordinators and good defenses will plan for this and take this away. Hopefully the Lions do that. Yeah, he's going to have his scrambles. The Lions are going to try to, have somebody that is a spy. I get it. But yesterday, Miami allowed Justin Fields to run for over 170 yards. That the Lions can't let that happen. Make him be a passer. Bears still lost the game. So, I love Justin Fields in college. Don't get me wrong. I think he's fine, but I don't think he's that great. I think the Lions can win this game in Chicago on Sunday. That'll do it for our Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Thanks for staying with us, everybody, making us your first listen. We're back again tomorrow.